Hello and welcome to the Daily Meal for Saturday, the 3rd of May, 2025. Today was Matchday, last game of the season, and as you already know, we needed to win that game. We did not win that game. It was a hard game to win, away at Burnley, who have an insane defensive record in the league this year. We did score against them. Unfortunately, they scored 3, which is exactly the score that I predicted at the end of yesterday's video. So, there you go. So this is the match report from millwallfc.co.uk, the club's official website. Lions finished 24-25 with battling Burnley loss. Millwall were beaten 3-1 by Burnley in the Sky Bet Championship on Saturday afternoon. Mihailo Ivanovic gave the Lions the lead at Turf Moor, but they were hit almost instantly by a Josh Brownhill equaliser. Jaden Anthony and Brownhill's late free kick consigned the Lions to defeat, despite Alex Neil's side giving it their all in Lancashire. The head coach made one change for the trip as George Honeyman came in for Luke Cundall, who dropped to the bench. The Lions started the brighter at Turf Moor and advanced into the Burnley box through Femi Aziz and Josh Coburn, but they were both shut out by a Burnley defence intent on keeping their clean sheet. The Clarets then began to dictate the play, with Marcus Edwards twisting and turning in an attempt to get a shot away on 10 minutes, but the Lions stood firm. At the other end, moments later, Mihailo Ivanovic did well to drive into the box, but Burnley cleared. However, just a minute after that, Millwall took the lead as Honeyman drove down the right-hand side and crossed for the Serbian, who guided home his 13th of the campaign. That lead was to last just 2 minutes though, as the Clarets took advantage of a loose ball inside the area, with Brownhill striking past George Evans. What the hell was that about? Tanganga jumping up for a ball when Kramer's already there and Kramer's underneath it, so maybe he's flat-footed. But I mean, why did you do that? And even then, after that, the ball falls forward, and then Zach Sturridge is coming over to get it, and Ashley Barnes jumps in, studs up, and almost like flips Zach Sturridge over. Like he almost does like a car flip. And obviously the ref doesn't give the free kick, because why would he do that? He was giving a lot to Burnley for not very much, but to us, oh no. I mean, it's just a nightmare. And obviously, straight after we scored, so everyone's amped up. It's like, right, you need to chill out, amp yourself up, and just go running and trying to jump at balls that aren't yours. Mills seemed undeterred by that equaliser and could have retaken the lead on 14 minutes, but Ivanovic was unable to fully control Aziz's cross, with Tanganga then heading into the arms of James Trafford. At the midway point of the half, the Lions had Jake Cooper to thank for being positioned well on the line, as Jaden Ante looked to guide home Burnley's second, with Evans having to tip Brownhill's dipping attempt over the bar on 26 minutes. With 10 minutes to play until the break, the Lions were presented with a golden opportunity to take the lead, but after some patient build-up to play, saw Tristan Kramer beat his man and cross, but Coburn struck the base of the post from close range. He couldn't, he got his foot on it, but he angled his foot. So when he hit his foot, it went sideways. He sliced it like a golf shot, and it hit he was literally probably 3 yards out, more like 2 yards out. Probably one of the worst misses that I'm sure we've seen as Mill fans. And that was it. That was the zenith. That was the chance. That was it. And didn't take it, and that was a mistake, because it felt like Burnley were let off the hook, and they knew it. Casperden slid the ball through to Aziz as the second half got underway. The winger strike at goal deflected behind, with Cooper having to get his head to Hannibal's at the other end, clearing it behind for a corner kick. Burnley then looked to hit Mill on the break with 50 minutes on the clock, working the ball inside the penalty area and to the feet of Anthony. However, he was met by a big save from Evans. Hannibal curled an effort onto the roof of the net 4 minutes after that, with Evans then performing extremely well to deny Anthony a tapping, sprawling himself wide to claim at the feet of the attacker. Honeyman's ball over the top then allowed Aziz a strike, which James Trafford saved as the game opened up once more, while Zach Sturge made a goal-saving block to prevent Edwards from scoring from inside the area. And you notice, so this is the start of the second half, and it's just Burnley. They upped it again. And why did they up it again? Well, I'm blaming Leeds. Because Leeds were losing at half-time away at Plymouth. And this news surely must have found the ears of the Burnley players and management. And they came out in that second half full of gusto, attempting to win the league with a win against Millwall. And that is not how it turned out. And we'll get into that in a minute. So Anthony's strike was deflected while Clarence attempted to turn the screw, with Neil then opted to make a change just past the hour mark, bringing on Cundle for Denor. Another sweeping Burnley move saw Hannibal strike straight at Evans, but on 66 minutes, a ball over the top saw Anthony shrug off Tristan Kramer and guide an attempt past the goalkeeper. Cooper had to get in the way of Brownhill effort as the hosts looked for more, but Mill kept coming. Sturge sending a dangerous cross into the area that had to be claimed by Trafford. Honeyman's last act of the game was to send over a delightful ball, which was not taken advantage of by the Lions. Adomo, Mako, Rhineland and Ryan Wintle replacing the midfielder, Ivanovic and Kramer, with a final throw of the dice seeing the head coach add Macaulay Langstaff into the attacking mix as he came on for George Saville. Cooper blocked another Brownhill attempt and Evans saved from Anthony as the Claret sought a third, but Trafford was the next goalkeeper to work as he had to tip Aziz's long-range effort behind. However, that was to be the final goal-mouth action as Mill's heroic efforts were to unfortunately end in vain. What is this? Who wrote this match report? This is fucking trash. They don't even mention they scored 3 goals. Where's the third goal? Did I miss it? Final first Cooper blocked another there. The Clarets sought a third, but Trafford was next to go. They scored a third from a free kick from Brownhill. Fucking hell. He's already gone on holiday, the geezer's who's writing this. Couldn't even get the crowd, and there's no team as well. What is going on, man? Anyway, let's move on to some pictures, also from millwallfc.co.uk. Burnley fans, obviously there was a massive... They expected them to be running on the pitch, but it wasn't to be, because, obviously they didn't win the league. And they already did a pitch invasion, I think, when they... In the game against Sheffield United, where they came on, and they got in trouble for that, I think. Or maybe someone got arrested. I think a Burnley fan got arrested for attacking Sheffield United player. So they've already had their pitch invasion when they got promoted, because that's all you want to do. You want to get promoted. So the Millwall players did go around to the away fans at the end of the game and commiserate. So here we go. We've got some pictures from the game. That's the goal getting scored there. There you go. Wasn't long though, was it? Honeyman with the assist for that. That was the chance that got missed. There. Can't see his leg, but... Yeah. And again, blood all down Tanganga's shirt. Where's that from? Is that from his hand again? I don't know what that was. Yeah. Now, table finished. This is how it finished. So these are the rest of the results from the league today. Insane amount of goals. I think there's only 3 teams in the league today that didn't score a goal. So if you're a BTTS bet backer, I mean, if you did an ACCA, you'll be quite happy, I would imagine. Are you allowed to do ACCAs on that? Probably not. I don't know. I don't really deal with that stuff. So the results here from the league: West Brom 5, Luton 3, Norwich 4, Cardiff 2, Swansea 3, Gary Rats, Oxford 3, Bristol City 2, Preston 2, Burnley 3, Millwall 1, Coventry 2, Middlesbrough 0, Derby 0, Stoke 0, Plymouth 1, Leeds 2, Portsmouth 1, Hull 1, Sheffield United 1, Blackburn 1, Sunderland 0, Queen's Park Rangers 1, and Watford 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1. So obviously I've extended it so the goals are showing for the games that matter to us. And this is, let's have a look at the table, how it finished. So a win would have got us in. A win would have got us in. Bristol City, they drew today. They drew 2-2 against Preston. And a win would have got us in. And I'm blaming Leeds, like I said before. And that's for the reason... where is it? Here you go. They were losing at half-time 1-0. So Burnley would have found that out. They would have G'd them up. Obviously, it wouldn't have mattered in the end. Because right at the end of the game, Mano Solomon scored in injury time to make it 2-1. And they ended up winning anyway. But, obviously, too late for us. Because I think by that time we were already 3-0 down. Or 3-1 down. Coventry scored at the end of the first half to make it 1-0. And here you go. Preston went 2-0 up, 1-0 at half time. And Bristol City came back to make it 2-2. And you're thinking, well, let them score a third, so then it wouldn't matter that we would have lost today. But that wasn't to be, so. And the other game, Blackburn take the lead, which meant we dropped even further down, and they were in the playoffs. Blackburn were in the playoffs with 68 points. And then Sheffield United equalised shortly after, 9 minutes after, so that put an end to that. And that's where we finished. So again, Blackburn jump over us. We don't finish 7th. We finish 8th. We're in the top 10 with a negative goal difference. One of the lowest scorers in the league. How is that possible? Are we in fact the lowest scorers in the league on 47 goals? There's 1, 2, 3 teams. So we're the 4th. I could have just done that. That would have been better. I could do. So yeah, we're the 4th worst scorers in the league, but we have the... What's that? 7th best defence. Which is where we ended up near enough where we ended up finishing. We ended up finishing 8th. So yeah, there you go. And what a season it's been. What an insane roller coaster of a season it's been. So what happens now? I don't know. I guess we wait to see what happens now. And what kind of shape we're in when we come back for pre-season in July. But, so we got 66 points, which was enough to finish 7th, but we finished 8th on goal difference, with 7 goals behind Blackburn. And it's now going to be Sheffield United versus Bristol City and Coventry Sunderland in the playoffs. But insane. Sunderland have lost 5 games in a row. Have they just given up? Like, how is that possible? I guess their lead at the start of the season must have been so high that they got enough points more than anyone else. Luton end up getting relegated, so Luton, Plymouth and Cardiff are down. Now, is that... See, two of the longest journeys for us was Plymouth and Cardiff are down, and we'll look at the end of the video. I'm going to look at a little look to the next season now. But before then, obviously, we have to talk about the match today. So yeah, this is from londonnewsonline.co.uk. Millwall boss Neil, our game plan worked, we just didn't take our chances. Alex Neil believes Mill's tactical approach came close to paying off despite a 3-1 defeat to Burnley, ending their hopes of reaching the Championship playoffs for the first time since 2002. The Lions needed a win at Turf Moor today, coupled with favourable results elsewhere, to break into the top 6 on the final day of the season. Things started promising for Neil's side as Mihailo Ivanovic filed them into an early lead with his 12th league goal of the campaign. Burnley equalised almost immediately through Josh Brown, and the hosts took full control in the second half. Yeah, Jayden Anthony put them ahead before Brownhill's second sealed victory for the Premier League Clarets. We've done alright, said Neil. We're not kidding ourselves that we came here and outplayed Burnley. Burnley were the better side, but what we do know is you don't need to be the best team in the game in terms of moving the ball to be the most effective and win. And we were always going to come here on and play on the counter and try and frustrate and make sure we created opportunities to see if we could get ourselves in front. And we made those opportunities. In terms of the game plan, if you like, it worked. We just didn't really take them when they came our way. Unfortunately, Burnley were more effective in terms of where their chances came in and put the game beyond us at the end. Despite the scoreline, Mill stayed competitive throughout the second half, thanks in large part to goalkeeper George Evans, who made several crucial saves to keep his team in contention. You're going to have to do that coming here, Neil acknowledged. They've not got 100 points for no reason. They've just come down from the Premier League, and they've got far more resources than a lot of teams. I'm not trying to diminish our play or their achievement. It's an incredible achievement for Scott and his players, and they deserve to be promoted. So from their perspective, well done, and good luck with that. For us, though, we are frustrated, We fell one step short, but we can be extremely proud about how we've done our work since January onwards, since he turned up. And if we can check, obviously, a season is a season. You don't get to pick and choose your games, but if we go to December, the 30th, we're 5th in the table under Alex Neil. Just Alex Neil. Obviously, it's kind of confusing because sometimes we played 22. So even then, so if Portsmouth or Bristol City have played one less game than us over Alex Neil's reign here, if we give them the win to even it up, they're still on 38 points. We drop to 37. We're still in 6th place, which would take us in the playoffs. Again, this is not how it works. You go from August to May, you play your 46 games, 23 at home, 23 away. But since Alex Neil's come here, he's been absolutely incredible. And you wonder how is there not other teams trying to get him to be their manager? I just don't understand it. Like, why are clubs like Spurs and West Ham signing mediocre shit managers when there's a guy like Alex Neil here doing this, and Scott Parker at Burnley, what he's doing as well, and other managers in this league, and they're signing trash from abroad just because they've got a fancy sounding Portuguese, Spanish name, whatever it is. Just doesn't make any sense. Just doesn't make any sense to me. But there you go. So let's get back to that. So again, from londonnewsonline.co.uk, the South London Press, Mill boss feels pride despite Championship playoff dreams ending at Burnley. Alex Neil expressed a deep sense of pride in his Mill players after they felt agonisingly short of securing a Championship playoff spot on the final day of the season. The atmosphere inside Turf Moor was electric, with Scott Parker's Burnley having already secured promotion to the Premier League. The stage was set for a thrilling finale. Mill's travelling supporters created a wall of noise, winning their team toward their first playoff appearance since 2002. In this division. We were in the League One playoffs. That's how we got in there. That's how we got promoted. The game burst into life from the outset with both teams showing attacking intent. Burnley looked... are they going to sum up the game? Well, we don't need to go through the summing up of the game. Lions head coach Neil said, "It's one of those ones where we know where they're coming here and it's going to be a tough game. And they're playing for 100 points here, playing for the title, playing for the clean sheet records. It was like coming to a carnival. From our perspective, to try and win the game is very difficult. And no one so far has managed to do that here. The disappointing thing from our point of view is we score the first goal, then go and concede straight away, which is a cardinal sin in any game." Josh Coburn had a chance to put Millwall back in front before the break, but he was unable to convert Tristan Cramer's cross. Instead, the ball hit the post and bounced away. We then get an unbelievable opportunity to go 2-1 up just before half-time, but then we don't capitalise on that big opportunity. And then at the start of the second half, that's where the one where Femi gets down the side on his left foot, and that was potentially a good opportunity to get a goal. We don't manage to capitalise then, and I thought from 45 to 75 minutes, they stepped it up and we found it really hard to stay with them. At that point, you could see our lads were running on empty. We tried to freshen it up a bit. The manner of the goals we conceded was so frustrating for us. The first one is a clean ball we should do better with. Then they have 2 ricochets which land at their feet. The second goal is a dead ball free kick and we get done in behind, and the third one's a free kick. George gambles and leaves the side open a bit too much that he should probably be covering, and the ball ends up in the far corner. When you take the goals individually, they're poor goals for us to concede, but if you take that aside and you look at the bigger picture, you look at what the lads have churned out for the last God knows how many weeks, how they've gone about their work and how we've played in those games. Big wins we've got. Pride is definitely the overwhelming emotion we've got for the players. Plymouth were ahead against Leeds at half-time, a message that the Millwall bench was aware of. We took it to the last 45 minutes of the season, and that's what we've done. It was 1 each. The next goal was going to decide the game, and I said that to the players. Equally, I said this to the players because we got the message that Leeds were losing. And I was thinking that's the last thing we need, because Burnley were going for the title, and I knew the next 20 minutes was going to be important. And what I was hoping is we can weather that storm and nick a chance later on in the game, and it goes in your favour. And we did get a chance before they scored the second goal, but unfortunately we didn't manage to capitalise in it, and those moments ultimately seal big games. It's exactly what I said, you know. They knew that Burnley were going to come at them, and they weathered the storm, but they couldn't weather it all. You know, it's insane. It was just wave after wave. You know, and everyone's saying how George did well, George Evans in goal, the free kick, he should have done better with that. The commentators said it on the TV, and he's saying it here. Now, again, with London News Online, the South London Press, Alex Neil makes Mill transfer window a mission after Burnley defeat ends playoff hopes. What's happening here then? What's going on? Who are we signing this summer? Alex Neil says work for next season's Millwall squad will start immediately after their 3-1 defeat and now Premier League side Burnley. Well, I would imagine it would start as soon as the transfer window closes in January. Sort of like the scouting, still got to go out scouting, etc. So they sum up the game again, which is annoying because they just keep, I don't want to keep saying the same things over and over. Mill finished 8th and 2 points off the playoffs. The work for next year started now, Neil told the BBC Radio London. Transfer windows will change things. People come and go from there. Like any window, you want to make sure that by the end of it, you're in a stronger position than you were when you went into it. We have a lot of players still currently missing from the squad that will have a big effect on the team. And they'll be back for the start of next season. Along with the additions, we'll try to make it in the summer. Let's sign some more players so they can all get injured and not have any effect on the team. Again, we got players out of contract. Are they going to sign? How long do we have to wait for them to sign? Is that going to happen this week, or is it literally you're going to wait until? Is the club going to try and play hardball with them and literally wait until their contract has expired, and then throw them a contract with a with less money and say take it or leave it. I don't know, but man, it's insane. We'll see. Now we got this, which may be a repeat from southernnews.co.uk. Mill boss revealed what he told his side at half-time. 3-1 loss to Burnley. I'm imagining it's that Leeds are winning and they're going to get fucked. Yada, 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 yada. Yep, they sum up the game. Yep. Okay, so it's basically the same about weathering the storm first 20 minutes of the second half. Then he says, that's the moment where you know what it's like. You see games in those key moments sometimes decide big games. The first goal, if we can go longer without conceding, we'll give ourselves a chance. If we can take that second goal, it's a double setback for them. And then we've got something to cling on to. But sometimes you score them, sometimes you don't. Unfortunately, that was a costly miss for us. Players just want to try and put their foot on the ball and put it in the net. And unfortunately, I don't think he starts to get his feet out quickly enough. And the chance is gone. Yeah. It would be interesting. I would imagine that kind of goal. Obviously, I can't be sure, but I imagine AJ Matthews probably would have scored that because that's the kind of goal that he's got that poacher's thing about him. Whereas Coburn is more of like a target man kind of player. So I wonder. Obviously, at the moment, is Coburn staying? Is Coburn going back? We're trying to sign him. What's going to happen? And if that doesn't happen, now is Nisbet coming back? Do we play AJ Matthews? And then we're playing. But then what happens to Langstaff? We're gonna play Langstaff. Like there's a lot in the air. So there is a lot going on. We got this from southernnews.co.uk. They've been brilliant. Alex Neil praises Mill fans following 3-1 loss to Burnley. These are the fans. Alex Neil called Mill supporters brilliant following the Lions' 3-1 loss to Burnley on the final day of the season, a result that means his side missed the playoffs by 2 points. Mill won 5 out of 6 games to put themselves in the thick of the playoff race heading into the final day of the season, with the Lions needing to win at Turf Moor to have a chance of finishing in the top 6. 2,283 Millwall fans travelled to Lancashire for a 12:30 kick-off and watched as their side took the lead in the 11th minute after Mihajlo Ivanovic finished George Honeyman's cross. However, Burnley equalised from the result and restart and scored 2 second-half goals, ensuring they finished the season unbeaten at home and reaching 100 points. And apparently, they're the only team in this division to get to 100 points and not win the title, which is insane. So we've had 2 teams on 100 points. Apparently, that's never happened before. The away support gave the Lions resounding applause after the final whistle. Neil thanked the fans for their support throughout the season in his post-match press conference. Well, they've been brilliant, Neil said. We've got a lot of gratitude and appreciation of how they've backed us in all the matches. I'll go back to the deepest winter. We went to Luton away and we went to Portsmouth away on a Tuesday night, and we needed to pick up those points. And they were vital games for us at that stage. And the fans were sensational, and they pulled us through. We got the ones we needed, and it set us up for the remaining games. And there were a little bit of nerves tingling at the end there, and when they were all celebrating the players, that was a fantastic experience. So we do appreciate that. And then I think this is the same thing from londonnewsonline.co.uk, South London Press. Yeah, it's the same quote. I go back to the deep winter, Luton away, Portsmouth away on a Tuesday night, when we needed to pick up those points, said the Scottish boss. They were vital games for us at that stage, and they pulled us through. Looking back on the running, Neil credited the supporters for helping create the momentum that kept Millwall in the playoff race until the final day. We got the wins we needed, and it set us up for the remaining games. Obviously, a little bit more of nerves tingling there when they're serenading the players. It was a fantastic experience, and we do appreciate that from them. Indeed. So, It is what it is. It is what it is. Where do we go from here? Well, I'm sure some of you are going on holiday. But next season, 25-26. Yep. These are the teams that we will be playing against next season. Now it has been confirmed that we will be in next season's championship. And those teams are Birmingham City, Blackburn Rovers, Derby County, Hull City, Ipswich Town, Leicester City, Middlesbrough, Millwall, Norwich City, Oxford United, Portsmouth, Preston North End, Queen's Park Rangers, Sheffield Wednesday, Southampton, Stoke City, Swansea City, Watford, West Bromwich Albion, and Wrexham. So these are the teams that we're guaranteed to be playing next season. 2 times, 1 home, 1 away. Now, interestingly, there are still 4 places up for grabs, and that's obviously one of them is going to be the playoff winners from League One, and 3 of them will be 3 of Sheffield United, Sunderland, Coventry, and Bristol City. So we go again. Bit more of a southern division, I think. Obviously, Southampton are back in it. Leeds are up, Burnley are up, and Leicester, kind of Midlands, but it's not as far as Burnley, is it? Or Leeds, is it? Ipswich are back down, so another southern team. So there's that. And Birmingham back up. So this is the teams that are in the League One playoffs. So we've got a choice of Stockport, Charlton, Wickham, or Leyton Orient. So 3 of those are southern teams, 1 is a northern team based around Greater Manchester. Obviously, a lot of you will probably want to play Charlton because it's guaranteed 6 points in it, but obviously it's just down the road as well. That's it's a fucker to get a ticket for. So if you're not fully suited and booted with your loyalty points, you might have trouble getting a ticket to that. Personally, I would probably want Leyton Orient because they don't seem to be the best team there. They've lost 16 games, but obviously they are joining a number of teams that do this thing where they win a lot of games and they lose a lot of games, and they don't draw games. Over 46 game season, they've only drawn 6. So obviously they are capable of winning a game, which is you need to win games in the playoffs, certainly. So bring Leyton Orient. It's probably, again, it's another London team, just down the road, over the river, and it won't have the baggage that Charlton have. Obviously, Leyton Orient did beat us in the League Cup this season, so there you go. Now, next season as well. Key dates, 25-26. The fixtures will be released on Thursday, the 26th of June at 2025 at 12 p.m. And I believe they're going to make like a big show of it. Apparently, it's like a live show on Sky. They're going to do that, and then probably, I think at 1 o'clock they said they're going to do the Carabao Cup draw. So it's going to be like a big bang release thing. For some reason, we start a week after League 1 and League 2. Is that for TV purposes? Probably. So no doubt. It says weekend of 9th and 10th of August. They're going to do what they did this season. It's going to be a 12:30 kickoff, guaranteed. So the only way it won't be is if we had a Friday night game. But they always do that game as a team that's been relegated and a team that's got promoted. So it would be like Leicester Wrexham or Southampton Birmingham, something like that. So there you go. The final game is on the 3rd of May. And next season's Championship playoff final is already decided to be the 23rd of May. So there you go. Which is bank holiday weekend now, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So yeah, there you go. I mean, what a season! What a fantastic season! And thank you very much to the players who kept on going throughout all the problems they faced, injuries and setbacks and stuff. Kept on going, kept on trying, and thank you for watching, and bye for now.